Good evening, everyone. No, welcome to Social Hour. No, Monday edition. So, medyo nagpahinga mo tayo mga almost 1 week, no, mga kasocial. Kasi medyo may inaayos lang po, no. So, yung good news natin mga kasocial is that si uh, amigo nyo Jesse, may ara kita we're co-host sang programa man sang I was invited to be a co-host of PMPTI Report to the People by Police Chief Master Sergeant Nida Lacheca Gregas, no? So abangan nyo yan from Monday to Thursday, no? And then Monday to Thursday and Friday pala. From Monday to Thursday, that is 7 to 8 a.m. and then every Friday that's 10 to 11 a.m. in the morning. So another siya na at opportunity also, no, for you to be able to get some more updates regarding sa PNP, no, a nationwide, no. So mga kasocial, let's pray muna before we start, no? Thank you so much, Father, for this day. Thank you for your love, faithfulness, and kindness. Thank you for uh, all the energy, all the kindness, and all the wisdom you have given to us, Father. And Father, thank you for giving us another borrowed life this day, together with our family, our relatives, and friends. Father, we entrust to you everything, all our plans, our future, and our life. Father, continue to use this program, Social Hour, to deliver more good information and news, and also our another program, PNPTI Report to the People, uh, also together with Police Chief Master Sergeant Gregas, to give more opportunity also and more uh, informations nationwide for the people, for every Filipino people. So, Father, we entrust to you everything because you are a great God. Thank you so much. We praise you, we give glory to you, and we always bless your mighty name. Amen. So, mga kasosyal, medyo kuwan na siya, mga kasosyal. uh, yung programa, may mga changes lang, no? That's why we wanted to uh, speak Taglish o Ilonggo sometimes na because hindi lang tayo nakikita dito sa Bacolod o Western Visayas, but also we are seen nationwide, no, and global. So there's a lot of Filipinos viewers also outside in Western Visayas. So nagtatagalog po tayo para para maintindihan din ng mga kasama din natin doon. Okay? So uh, yung topic natin for tonight, mga ka-social, no? Russia 32nd day nila, no? 32nd day invasion in Ukraine, no? So next is how much do you know about Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine? And of course, the three biggest mistake of Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. And Comelec update news, and of course, for our health tips, how to be in good shape every day, how to get fit, no? Very important yung health natin nowadays, no? So I always mention this, uh, true wealth is our health. So we really must invest in our health. So, and then lastly, did NATO push Ukraine into war? So, yun po ang i-discuss po natin, no? I'll show you some videos and of course I'll explain it to you what exactly yung nangyayari doon sa Ukraine and Russia. Okay, so and of course market economy, I'll give you some updates about if you heard about shrinkflation, no? So maybe some of you doesn't know, or maybe some of you knows this, but it's good na I'll share this to you for you to be able to know what exactly the shrinkflation. It's been happening uh, matagal na, no? And it's pabalik-balik na, no? Actually, companies, big and medium-sized na mga companies taking advantage of this war, of this situation globally, no? So now, uh, this video, I'll show it to you, mga ka-social. Kasi it's a 32nd day of invasion of Russia, no? Of Vladimir Putin sa Ukraine, no? But yet, they're having a hard time, no? Fighting, no? Nahihirapan sila to conquer Ukraine on ground. That's why they shift the tactics, no? Ang tactics nila, the strategy is they're using long range attack using missile, helicopters, and hypersonic missile, and sometimes they're using this na uh, what do you call this? I forgot the kind of a bomb, a missile na may vacuum siya. So that may chemical compound siya. Now once pag sumabog in that particular place, not even kahit malayo ka, if you inhale it, no, matamaan ka, makita mo siya, pwede kang mabulag, pwede magkakasakit ikaw. So ito po yung bomb, pinagbabawal po ito, no, ng UN. So kasi it's parang chemical na sa category. So yan po ang nangyayari ngayon because Vladimir Putin, uh, I think siguro thousands na yung namamatay din sa kanya, no? Na mga soldiers and na-capture din ng mga Ukrainian soldier. Pero yun nga, that's why as part of not exactly a desperate move from Vladimir Putin, but however, it's another strategy kasi nakikita niya some of his generals, no? According sa report, uh, namamatay na, no? So may mga casualty na sa mga generals daw according sa report, but the Kremlin or Moscow did not confirm that, no? Kasi of course, this is just a part of war, a strategy na of course you will not say na oh tama yan namatay na yung generals namin. So hindi po yan. So actually they know how to play this war and they know how to make tinatawag nilang the art of war na okay, sige, okay lang. Now they're in the process of the another peace talks today, no? Today actually. So hopefully na ma-meet nila, no? Yung both na uh, demands of both party and probably come up with a beneficial for both party also na mag-stop na to yung war dun sa Ukraine, and Vladimir will pull out his soldiers na sa Ukraine. But there's may update that Vladimir Putin wanted to separate or divide Ukraine, no? Ukraine. So maraming nangyayari na, no? Every day grabe yung mga changes. Plus the factor of yung sanction given by the NATO, no? Ni Biden. So that's why President Biden called him uh, butcher already, no? So grabe na sin mga ka-social. Hope na let's pray na it will not escalate, no, beyond uh, Ukraine, kasi that's yung pinaprotect ng mga NATO members also, na hindi na siya aabot sa ganun. But of course, the NATO uh, military or armed forces are already, no, in Poland or in some part of the Europe, preparing also. Kasi nasa labas na, malapit na uh, yung tinitira ni Putin border, part of course inside Ukraine, yung mga oil tanker ng Ukrainian. However, only 4 to 500 kilometers lang away from the Poland border, no? So makikita mo na yung usok eh. So that's why when Biden arrived, parang buhay naman yun daw kay President Biden, may sumabog na oil, mga depo ng Ukrainian. So mga kasosyal, so this video, uh, if you have any thoughts na pwede mo ma-share for this, please kindly share kung ano po yung masasabi ninyo. So anong nangyayari doon sa Ukraine. Okay, please watch this video.
5 kilometers west of Kyiv. Whatever the Ukrainian military claim about pushing the Russians back, doesn't seem like it here. They are picking through the mess of an attack that destroyed several houses. 5 people were injured. Yaroslav says he heard a whistle and then a powerful blast.
Явно, що тут нічого немає і нікого немає, ні зброї, ні... Це взагалі якийсь капець. Порозносили все, що тільки можна.
In Israel, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been busy clearing up President Biden's mess.
As you've heard us say repeatedly, we do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia or anywhere else for that matter. In this case, as in any case, it's up to the people of the country in question. It's up to the Russian people.
Joe Biden's slip yesterday,
for God's sake, this man cannot remain in power,
has given Putin the justification to argue America is trying to decide who runs Russia.
Sans faire la guerre et sans escalade.
On French television today, President Macron declared he would not have used Biden's words. But Ukraine's president is losing patience.
Відсоток від усіх літаків НАТО. І 1% усіх танків НАТО. 1%. Ми не просили більше. І не просимо більше. А чекаємо вже 31 день. Тож, хто керує євроатлантичною спільнотою? Вже досі Москва через залякування.
They fear escalation in Kharkiv, where thousands are now hiding in the tunnels and stations of the subway. This city was once the futuristic hub of Ukraine's tech sector. Now they're living like it's the Second World War.
The trains are also used as shelters. You can see people are staying overnight inside the trains, and it's warmer in the train.
Kharkiv is probably the most targeted city in Ukraine after Mariupol. Every day it's been hit with rocket bombs, shells and missiles. The city is not cut off, but there are Russians on all sides, and supplies are now hard to get in. As the Russians fight for Izium down the highway, satellite images show pontoon bridges as they try to move south of the river.
Місто розбомблене, майже стерте з лиця землі.
The mayor told Channel 4 News it's desperate there, and some officials are defecting to the Russian side.
На сторону російських окупантів перейшли деякі депутати Ізюмської міської ради, працівник поліції у відставці і мер міста, який був до 2010 року. Вони зараз співпрацюють з окупаційною владою, об'явили себе і народними мерами.
On National Guard Troops Day, Russia released footage from a military hospital of the injured, many of them amputees, being awarded bravery medals. President Putin praised his forces for their personal heroism. Back in Kharkiv, the Philharmonic Orchestra played for what should have been the International Music Festival. Their director told them amid the darkness, there are eternal values and a future in our country. That remains to be seen. Well, a short time ago, I spoke to the Ukrainian MP, Lesia Vasylenko, who is in the capital, Kiev. And I began by asking her what she made of President Biden's comments and whether she wished America did want regime change.
I think it should be a global policy if the world wants to live in the peace and security framework that we so well know and that we so well value. I mean, the regime that Putin leads is dangerous for Russians, for Ukrainians, and for the global community. It's a regime which is built on terror and on ultimatums and on threats. That regime has nothing in common with democracy or the benefits that the 21st century can offer human beings in general. So that regime must be brought to an end for the sake of humanity.
I suppose the reaction to President Biden's comments, though, reveal what the Western world perhaps sees as the end state of this war, which is that Putin will still be in power, the sanctions will be relaxed, and everyone will carry on as if nothing had happened. Do you think that's at all acceptable after what has happened in Ukraine already?
That is not acceptable, and that is not possible. That is not a plausible outcome of anything that is happening today in Ukraine and also in Russia. The situation with Russia's aggression has escalated to something unprecedented. And unless he is stopped, Vladimir Putin and his army will carry on pushing into Ukraine and also beyond Ukraine. They have time and time again in different formats dropped hints that they are very much interested in invading Poland, in invading the Baltic states, and essentially rebuilding a larger Russian empire. So unless the US and the US president are happy to see that happen in the world, and I think they're not, then something must be done, and something must be done right here, right now.
We have heard about a new round of talks beginning, though, and it's possible after Russia's announcements yesterday that they are seeking Donbass to be Russian. If that is their negotiating position, what is Ukraine's?
Ukraine is very clear that the only peace agreement that can be reached only once Russia deoccupies Ukraine and once our borders are reinstated to their internationally recognized margins.
The Donetsk People's Republic, the Russian-backed separatists, are talking today about a referendum to join Russia. If they were to hold a vote and the people there voted to join Russia, would you accept that?
Well, first of all, there can be no referendums held at gunpoint. That is nonsense. It's nonsense in terms of international law, and it's nonsense in terms of the logic behind it. If there are Russian soldiers standing behind Ukrainians, pointing their guns at them, and Russian air jets, fighter jets in the skies are ready to drop missiles, what do you think the outcome of that referendum will be? I don't think that anyone in their right mind in the international community and in Ukraine alike should be accepting any outcomes of these referendums. All referendums and all further agreements and contracts can be signed with Russia only once the occupation of the Ukrainian territory happens. That's the only way about it.
Lesia Vasylenko, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, and glory to Ukraine, and keep safe.
Yun mga kasosyal, so si President Joe Biden of United States are losing patience, no? Unscripted ang sinabi niya na this Vladimir Putin is hindi na dapat daw magiging leader, no? Ng ganitong country, no? Kasi parang na siya. That's why tinatawag na siya kung ano-ano na ng mga members of NATO because of this parang wala ng control, no? Kahit ano lang gusto tamaan ng mga missile, like for example, even the apartment, no? So everybody is hiding na, no? Sa basement, sa tunnel, sa train. So doon na natutulog yung mga members of Ukrainian citizens na wasn't able to vacate, no, sa o transfer ng Poland or Romania or other neighboring countries doon sa Europe. So it's really sad, no, for all Ukrainians because of this. Actually, you know, some of the political analysts in Europe mentioned that because of NATO and especially daw, no, because kay Joe Biden, no, nangyari itong war because Putin giving Putin has no choice, no, because of pressure na ginagawa ng NATO, no, to Russia. So yun plus the fact the Ukrainian president wanted to join the NATO, which is not part of the deal between the Russia and the NATO way back 2004. So yun yung mga ka-social, may mga history, no, for those na hindi pa alam, may mga history why Vladimir Putin also decided to invade Ukraine. Although parang neighbor, parang Philippines, Malaysia lang. Ganun lang kakwan. Actually, yung masaklap pa kasi it's beside lang, no? Or parang Bacolod or Negros Occidental invading Negros Oriental. Parang ganun nangyari. So, it's really sad, no? Sa mga taga-Ukrainian because naging sacrificial lamb daw sila eh. So, now, yung all NATO's leaders right now are preparing and still thinking what other sanctions na pwede nilang idagdag kay Vladimir Putin. However, Vladimir Putin doesn't care about mga sanctions kasi for him, hindi niya ma-feel eh. But the Russian citizen felt it already, no? Because imagine you cannot transact, no? Hindi na nila magamit credit card nila. Hindi na magamit yung mga bank deposit nila doon. They can't do transactions na online or even just buy some foods kasi na-freeze lahat, no? Because of the sanctions given by the NATO and the United States. So, mga ka-social, no? The next video and kung gaano natin kakilala, how much do you know about Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine president? Let's watch this video.
Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. How much do you know about Volodymyr Zelensky? He's president of Ukraine. The West is drawing parallels between him and the Chinese student who stood in front of a tank in Tiananmen Square in 1989. They say, like him, Zelensky too is standing up to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. Volodymyr Zelensky has become the most admired person of the free world. His Legos are being sold. There is Zelensky merchandise. So much is being written about him, but mostly by the West. So far, we've seen Zelensky through the Western lens, one that sees Putin as a villain and Zelensky as the hero. Putin, the man who tags polar bears, and Zelensky, the president who dances to cha-cha. Putin is cold, Zelensky is funny. Putin barely talks about his family, Zelensky shares photos of his wife and children. Ever since the war in Ukraine broke out, West has presented Zelensky as the antithesis of Putin, basically the good guy in this story. But this is the West story. Let's look at Zelensky independent of the story. Who is he? Some say, like Putin, Zelensky too has authoritarian traits. Volodymyr Zelensky is 44 years old. He grew up in a town called Kryvyi Rih. This is where it's located on the map. Zelensky's father was a computer science professor. His mother was an engineer. He grew up in one of the better neighborhoods of the town. While the young men of Kryvyi Rih wore tracksuits, Zelensky wore classy suits. He liked English rock. He played the guitar. even shared a pair of blue jeans with his friend Alexander Pikalov. The denim would go back and forth between the two depending on who had a date. So goes the story. The Soviet Union, though, collapsed when Zelensky was growing up. The post-Soviet era gave him the chance to mock politicians in broad daylight. A comedy show sprung up on Russian TV called KVN. It pit teams from across former Soviet states against one another. At 17, Zelensky became part of the team representing Kryvyi Rih. Soon he and his friends created their own troupe. It was named the 95th Quarter or Quartal 95. Critics say Zelensky's comedy was quote-unquote puerile, vulgar and working class. It is said that Zelensky's mother once visited the rehearsal. She was not happy with what she saw. The distressed woman pulled Zelensky's friend aside and asked, "He's going to be a lawyer, isn't he?" Zelensky did go on to study law, but he built a career in comedy. Back in those days, oligarchs would often invite comics and satirists to their parties. Zelensky was invited to perform at Viktor Yanukovych's birthday party. We are talking about the Ukrainian president, Viktor Yanukovych, who was ousted in the Euromaidan revolution of 2014. Did Zelensky perform before Yanukovych? Reports say he did. When Crimea was annexed in 2014, Zelensky declared he did not want anything to do with Russia. His troop cut all ties with the Russian market. It also donated 1 million hryvnia to the Ukrainian army. Not only was he a successful comic, but also Ukraine's most successful producer. He had a fancy office in Kiev with a panoramic view of the city. He bought a 15-room villa in Tuscany, one that he never declared during his presidential campaign. By 2012, long before Crimea happened, Zelensky was sitting on some $15 million. He did not lose much by cutting off ties with Russia, but he made immense gains in terms of his popularity. Soon, Zelensky started work on his most successful show, a sitcom called Servant of the People. He played a high school teacher named Goloborodko, who was caught on tape ranting about corruption, and this monologue goes viral, and the teacher becomes president. Goloborodko sets out to chart his own path. He surrounds himself with old friends instead of the old ruling class. He appoints inexperienced people to office. Turns out all of this could have been a campaign announcement spread over 3 seasons. The show ran from 2015 to 2019. In the final hours of 2018, Zelensky announced that he would run for office. He had no experience, but 2 big promises. 1, he would fight corruption and confront Ukraine's oligarchs, and 2, he would end the war in Donbass. Zelensky declared, "You don't need experience to be president, you just need to be a decent human being." Volodymyr Zelensky is a native Russian speaker. His career as comic was all about depicting past presidents in a bad light, be it Viktor Yushchenko, Viktor Yanukovych, or Petro Poroshenko. Zelensky promised to be nothing like them. He projected himself as the total alternative to these presidents. 73% of Ukrainian voters put their weight behind him. He assumed office on the 2nd of May 2019. Just like Goloborodko, Zelensky installed friends in high offices, be it his writing partners, the head of his production company, or his lawyer. They were all made part of the government. And here we are 3 years later. The war in Donbass has not ended. Instead, it has escalated into Europe's biggest crisis since World War II. About 1,000 civilians have been killed in Ukraine alone. More than 1,500 people have been injured. At least 3 million people have fled Ukraine. Zelensky failed to keep his promise, and he could not have failed in a worse way. But he did rise to the crisis. When the US offered to fly him out of Ukraine, Zelensky said, "I need ammo, not a ride." The president appears on TV every day, and every day he's wearing a sap green t-shirt. He's visibly exhausted and mostly unshaved. On the 6th day of the war, Zelensky addressed the European Parliament via a video link. "Do prove that you're with us," he said. His interpreter appeared to chew on his tears. "Do prove that you will not let us go," Zelensky continued. One observer later noted, it was as if Charlie Chaplin had morphed into Winston Churchill. You see, this man knows TV. He is pulling off what Putin had during the Chechen war. The daily press appearances, videos from war zones, sharing meals with troops, addressing parliaments around the world, and all of this is working. Zelensky has become the most popular politician in the US, more popular than even US President Joe Biden. How tough should that be, you could ask? Zelensky knows how to win people over. He knows gimmicks. After he became president, he appointed his press secretary through an open competition. There were 4,000 candidates, and each of them were tested on their sense of humor and tolerance for stress. Zelensky also likes theatrics. He announced his election bid on live television on New Year's Eve. He once held a 14-hour-long press conference at a food market. Here's something he does not like: comedy at his expense. If comic Zelensky were to look at President Zelensky today, he would get a lot of fodder for his scripts. 1. The president has not been able to weed out corruption. 2. The Pandora Papers have exposed Zelensky's murky businesses. Volodymyr Zelensky has offshore holdings, his own companies in British Virgin Islands, Cyprus and Belize. His team says Zelensky is quote-unquote like any other business person in Ukraine, but you don't get to be both a businessman and a statesman. 3. Zelensky has also displayed authoritarian traits. He has banned 3 TV stations in Ukraine. Observers say, just like Putin, Zelensky too may be seizing power from the oligarchs only to strengthen his own personal authority and advance his interests. In 2020, Zelensky dismissed a general prosecutor because he reportedly refused to pursue cases that helped the president's cause. A governor of a national bank was removed too because he was not loyal enough. The deputy governor too was removed because she had raised concerns about the bank's independence. 4. Zelensky has failed to deliver his biggest campaign promise. There is no peace in Donbass. The region has now been taken over by Russian forces. 5. Zelensky may have underplayed warnings of the war. He first accused the West of hurting Ukraine's morale. Then he decided to spook the world. He said Russia would attack on the 16th of February. Later, he said he was only quoting media reports. Today, Zelensky spends his days in bunkers, cheering his forces, appearing on TV every now and then. He's the only Ukrainian president to face a full-fledged invasion. He has the support of his voters. His approval ratings are at an all-time high. There is obviously a threat to his life. Zelensky, after all, is reportedly Russia's target number 1. He's often heard telling global leaders that this might be the last time you see me alive. And every time a parliament applauds Zelensky, he says, thank you, but we want you to do more. There is no doubt he has risen up to the occasion. But come to think of it, he did not have much of a choice either. Fleeing Ukraine means losing presidency and a lot more. The Western media is drawing parallels between Zelensky and the emergency team that responded to 9/11. They've already pronounced him a hero. But it may be too early to say how history will judge this president of Ukraine.
Amo to mga kasosyal, si Volodymyr Zelensky is an actor, a comedian, a stage man in short. So then became a president of Ukraine. So 73% of Ukrainian voted him. No, the first time in the history in Ukraine reaches 73%, no? Na yung nakuha niya. And then naupo siya as a president of Ukraine 2019, no? Pero yun si Ukraine president, si Zelensky is the most popular, president, most popular pa compared kay Joe Biden of United States. And then si Volodymyr Zelensky, he knows many gimmicks, and to get the attention of people, but the problem is he promises he promises too much, and many promises that during his campaign hindi niya nabigay, hindi niya nagawa, in short. So like for example in Donbass, peace and order in Donbass. So the Donbass nakuha na ng Russia. So in short, si Volodymyr, actually the background is engineer. Mother niya is a teacher. So compared mo sa kay Vladimir Putin of Russia, a former KGB. Mahirap lang siya, no? Simpleng buhay lang ni Vladimir Putin. But however, yung buhay niya was really dun na umikot, being a KGB and wanted and dreaming to be a president of prime minister of Russia, which is nakuha niya. So, ito, si Vladimir Putin, mga kasocial, 20 years naman, no? 20 years as a president of Russia. No? More than 20 years actually. So, yung background ni Putin is really medyo seryoso, in short. That's why bibira mo makita si Putin na nakangiti, no? Or he is really laughing o smiling lang siya ng konti, then practically bibira pa nga. And then medyo serious type siya. So in short, sa Myers-Briggs, paano siguro sa to? Ano siya? Hindi naman siya INTJ, no? Pero mga kasosyal, ganun talaga pagsikat, no? Pagsikat ka, just like here in the Philippines, sikat ka, artista ka, mayaman ka, if you run for any position you would like to achieve, okay lang, madali lang. Very easy to achieve, Oh, kasi sikat ka nga, may pera ka pa. But here's the question. No background in handling mga in governments, no background in governance, no background in dealing with people, no background in dealing so many mga issues sa gobyerno, in short. So yun ang pinaka critical, because if you not all, but as of now, based sa nakikita ko, many people, many popular people running for this position, no, they don't know. Hindi naman they don't know. They have no or strong background or experience if they will take that seat or take that office, no? But there are also mga running candidates na may background talaga, no? May background, and I can say it, talagang suited siya, no? For that kind of position. But kaso lang, yung kalaban is that popular because of so many oligarchs, artista, mayaman, no? So, ganun yung mga challenges na dapat mong i-overcome, no? If you karapat-dapat ka, matalino ka, let's say, no? Nakita ko sa mga debates, no? Matalino tong tao o itong running for this kind of position, for this position, but however, or he has no mechanism, no? Wala siyang makinarya, and he's not that popular. And lastly, wala siyang pera. So that's the downside of that person, na definitely he can't win, no? He can't win sa ganong posisyon na gusto niyang kunin. But on the other hand, ito naman, konti lang experience, popular, maraming pera, maraming suporta na mayaman. Here we go, nanalo. So in short, that kind of person, or shall we say na politician, will only depend sa mga advisors niya or cabinet members niya, no? So yan, kalabasa talaga yung mangyayari. So pero I'm not saying na kalabasa yun sa Ukraine, no? Pero doon ko lang binibase na pag sikat ka, I thought it's only in the Philippines, but also sa labas pala, you can win also sa sikat ka lang, di ba? So, this next video mga ka-social, no? The 3 biggest mistake of Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine. Let's watch this, and is it true that this is the 3 biggest mistake of the president of Ukraine? No? Tingnan po natin.
When Russia's invasion began, President Zelensky was defiant. He promised to defend every inch of Ukraine's territory. Now he's open to concessions. He's open to abandoning his quest for NATO membership. So what exactly changed in 14 days? In simple words, Zelensky got a taste of reality. He made 3 strategic miscalculations. Number 1, he overestimated Western support. Number 2, he oversold Ukraine's importance to the West. And number 3, he misread Putin's real intentions. We'll take them one by one. Zelensky knew that Ukraine was no match for Russia. It was evident for everyone watching the situation. The army, the finances, everything was stacked against him. But Zelensky thought he had trump card, the West. And he had good reason to think so. Joe Biden refused to guarantee Ukraine's neutrality. He refused to pull back from NATO's eastern flank. Instead, he expanded military assistance. He flooded Ukraine with lethal weapons. Clearly, Biden was invested in the fight. The question was, how invested? Listen to what Zelensky said on the 1st of September last year, weeks before the Russian build-up began.
I feel that President Biden, well, not only do I feel, I heard that he personally supports Ukraine on the issue of granting NATO membership. But it's hard for me to tell what the path is going to be like.
This was September 2021. In fact, let's go back further to April 2021. That was Russia's first military build-up. Back then, Zelensky seemed very confident of America's support. Listen to what he said.
President
Biden assured me that Ukraine will never be left alone against Russian aggression.
Ukraine will never be left alone. April 2021, that was Biden's promise. So naturally, Zelensky hoped for big things. He thought the military aid was just the start, that more would come, more help. But he was wrong. Military aid was NATO's maximum limit. They refused to go beyond that. No soldiers on the ground, no no-fly zones, nothing that would pit them against Russia. Same with sanctions. It's day 14 of the invasion and Europe is still buying Russian oil and gas. The fact is, the West led Ukraine on. They refused to compromise. They promised all the support, but when the time came, NATO stood back and watched. Miscalculation number 2. Zelensky overestimated Ukraine's importance to the West. It was evident he called Ukraine the... Listen.
For 8 years, Ukraine has been a shield. For 8 years, Ukraine has been holding back one of the greatest armies in the world, which stands along our borders, not the borders of the European Union. And the missile systems flew to Mariupol. These events confirm that comprehensive security in Europe is impossible if Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity is not restored.
Again, he was wrong. Ukraine was expendable for the West. They were not serious about the NATO membership. They were not serious about the sanctions. For them, Ukraine was just a useful tool. Something to irritate Vladimir Putin, that's all. But that useful tool had an expiry date. It was February 24th when Russia invaded. And this has happened before. Think back to Afghanistan in the 1980s. America funded the Mujahideen to fight the Soviet army. Because Afghanistan was really important for the West. No, it wasn't. The sole objective was to give the Soviets a bloody nose. Afghanistan was also a useful tool for the Americans. Same with Georgia. America armed them in the late 2000s. They trained Georgian soldiers. They promised NATO membership. But when war NATO, Zelensky made that very same mistake. He believed that Ukraine was a key strategic asset for NATO. He was wrong. For NATO, Ukraine was just another pawn. Miscalculation number 3. Zelensky failed to read Putin's mind. On this, you cannot really blame him. Until the last moment, nobody thought there would be a war. There would be threats, some saber rattling perhaps, but eventually Russia would pull back. That was a conventional wisdom. Even as late as January 28, Zelensky did not buy the war hysteria. This is what he said.
The feeling from the media is that we have a war. We have troops on the roads, we have mobilization, people are going somewhere. It does not. We do not need this panic.
In hindsight, should he have prepared better? Should he have considered Putin's proposals more seriously? Perhaps he should. But put yourself in Zelensky's boots. You have the world's most powerful military alliance promising support. You have lethal weapons pouring in every day. You have promises of unprecedented sanctions on Russia. It is not surprising that Zelensky decided to fight. The West promised him sovereignty, but they refused to fight for it. And history will judge him for that. All this Twitter fanfare, all this YouTube glory will disappear. What will remain is this: Ukraine is making the same compromises that Russia first demanded. In fact, more than that, Russia was only demanding neutrality then, no joining the NATO. That's what they wanted. Now they want Zelensky to recognize Donbass and Crimea. The difference is hundreds of innocent Ukrainians are.
So, there you go mga kasosyal, ano? Three biggest mistakes of Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine president. So, he expect too much from the NATO, no? Na in case na magyera, no? Russia or Vladimir Putin decided to invade Ukraine. 101% he is expecting that NATO will support it or the America will support him. Number 2 mo to, di ba? Overestimated the NATO, no? Na-misread niya ang NATO's and sa West mga ally. So that's the sad part, no? Because during the time the war starts na, when the Russia start invading Ukraine, the NATO allies, no, or especially America, they're just watching. They're just watching that while they're dying, ang mga Ukrainian. So it's really sad, no? It's just like a pawn in sa chest daw, ang Ukraine. So, and lastly, the third one, Zelensky failed to read Putin's mind. So, si Vladimir Putin is very unpredictable actually. And there are some political analysts also that si Vladimir Putin is medyo suicidal, ano? Kasi parang na-accomplish yun na, no? And then, although he really loves his country though, pero, no, he wants to make a legacy for his country. Na hindi basta-basta. Anino pa yung kung ang this Europe o Russia kung nula malang, di ba? Ang may mahimo something unique. Everyone, the whole world will remember Russia. So, amo na mga kasosyal. sobra mo ka depensa mo alay, sobra mo ka salig that they will support you, and then look what happened. So the same thing, no? Go back, dapat each country, no, especially sa Filipino, we must strengthen our military defense equipment. Kasi if we depend lang sa mga allies, no, yung mangyayari sa Ukraine, yun yung mangyayari sa atin. So, let's support the president that will really invest, no, give a big budget, no, for upgrading our military defense weapon. Kasi if I don't know, no, if China will just say, okay, it's time, medyo the European, the United States are busy right now dun sa Europe. Now it's time for us to conquer first Taiwan also, no? Then after Taiwan, sunod-sunod na. Then the North Korea will support also. No, this is just my mga wild thoughts ko lang po, no? Kasi Xi Jinping is just watching right now. And si Kim Jong-un of North Korea. So, ito mga ally ng North Korea, the Iran, and so many countries din supporter ng Russia. So, grabe. It's really dangerous. Only one wrong move, no, of NATO. This war will escalate to the level na no one could stop this. No? So, yan mga kasosyal. So, dapat we have to support ang presidente na may or running a president right now na mayroon siyang project o mayroon siyang plano to increase o to develop ang military defense weapon natin. Kasi mahirap eh. Mahirap talaga. So, that's it for Zelensky or Ukraine, Russia for now. Let's have a commercial break muna. Then let's go back to sa COMELEC naman, ano? COMELEC here in the Philippines. No? How safe is yung this coming national and local election? And of course, to avoid this mga tinatawag nilang vote buying, no? And mga other pa mga rules and regulations by the COMELEC, no? Kasi COMELEC is the boss right now, no, of the military. Kasi during the election. Sila yung nagpo-control ng military. So, let's have a break first, mga kasosyal. And then, pagbalik natin, we'll discuss it. Okay? Okay. Hold on.
Lori's Pet Care Products. Numex Syrup, the best syrup for respiratory comfort para sa mga hayop. Ito ay may high-potency antibacterial herbs at natural phytochemical herbs na tumutulong magpagaling ng sipon o anumang respiratory problems ng inyong mga hayop. Lori's Pet Care Products. Numex Syrup truly cares for your pet. Now available at your veterinary clinics and hospitals near you. Lori Pet Care Products. Rafavit Multivitamins Plus Minerals. The best ito na nutritional supplement para sa inyong mga hayop dahil ito ay loaded ng natural phytochemicals galing sa halaman para masigurado na mabilis at mahusay na pag-absorb ng balanced nutrients. Para lumakas at sumigla ang inyong hayop, mag-Lori Pet Care Products. Rabbit Multivitamins Plus Minerals na kayo. Lori Pet Care Products truly cares for your pet. Now available at your veterinary clinics and hospitals near you. Lori Pet Care Products truly cares for your pet. Century Herbal Shampoo. Para ito sa mga alaga yung hayop na may konting parasite infection. The best ito dahil ito ay may deep coat cleansing, herb and mineral content, bacteriostatic property, antifungal property, at deodorizing property. O bumili na kayo ng Lori Pet Care Products Century Herbal Shampoo. If you truly love your pet, mag-Lori Pet Care Products na. Now available at your veterinary clinics and hospitals near you.
Be one of us. Be one of our partners. And get advertised. Nina's Beth Chicken Inasol. The original.
Hi, we're inviting you to visit and dine at Nina's Beth or Brandon. Enjoy your famous chicken in the town and the dishes available with your winner happy card. See you!
CD Events and Copy Center.
Hi! Inviting you to visit CD Print and Copy Center for your office printing and advertising needs. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy cards. See you!
Ting Ting Native Food.
Hi, we're inviting you to visit and dine at Ting Ting Native Food and Restaurant. Enjoy our famous Pasero de Cebu, Pizza Manok Bisaya, mga annual special dishes. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy cards. We have enough space to serve you. See you soon!
Coney's Cancy and Supa.
Hi, inviting you to visit and dine at Palos Fancy and Super Restaurant. Enjoy the famous fancy and other dishes and avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy cards. See ya!
Green is Pizzeria.
Hi, we are inviting you to visit and dine at Dina's Pizzeria, all branches. Enjoy our famous pizza and all dishes and avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy card. See you!
Lay and Jerry's Palabok House.
Hi, we are inviting you to visit and dine at Lay and Jerry's House. Enjoy your famous Pampanga authentic Pancit Palabok and Mexico. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy card. We have enough space for you. See you!
RMST Auto Service Center.
Hi, we're inviting you to visit our industrial service center for your car tires, mug wheels, and accessories. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy card. See you!
Marie Salon and Spa Company.
Hi, we were inviting you to visit Marie Salon. Enjoy quality services. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy card. See you!
App Computers.
Hi, we are inviting you to visit Pop Computers here in Villamonte. We sell quality computers and accessories and also accept repairs. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy cards. See you!
Joanne's Condo.
Hi, we are inviting you to check in John's Condo located at 123 East Building, Circumferential Road, Barangay Villamonte, Pampanga City. Enjoy and relax with your family. Avail discount with your Prima Viaje happy card. See you!
bonbons, Piaya and Barquillos.
Good day, everyone. We are inviting you to visit Bongbong Piaya branch and enjoy our delicious, famous Piaya and delicacy. Avail discount with your Prema Viaje Happy Card. See you in all Bongbong branches.
What are you waiting for? Call us now.
Ngayong hapon, diri ni sa Oriental Cafe. Kadamo diri sa amon customer. Nanamian gid sang Yarden healthy. Kadto kamo diri kay tilawan nyo ang Yarden healthy.
Ano sir imong ang feeling mo sir imo na pagbago sa imo sir sang gagamit ka sir sang Yarden tea sir healthy?
Actually, ang paggamit sang amuning nga breakfast ko nga instead sang Milo, coffee or whatsoever, mas nami ang adlaw mo kag daw ka refresh sang imo ya nga pamatsyag, nakanghi ka sang normal, tapos ang balas mo daw kanami ya. Before sang wala ko niya ga-take, wala ko ga kay daw hindi ko kasaw bangod ga daw hindi ko black saw sang sabor. Kaya sa uli nga kung butangan ko sa gali kalamansi, mas nami gali sa tapos daw ma-feel mo nga ang iya nga sweeten is daw ka-natural lang.
Yes.
Although nga hindi ka na mag-adya ka sugar. Even ang wife ko, amo naman eh. So kung magkato ko di sa downtown kung may appointment ko abi,
Diri sa Oriental Cafe.
oo, sa Oriental Cafe amo gina order kay diri ko ya komportable. As of now, amo na gid lang ning nakabulig. Instead sa mga supplement or ano pa da nga mga ginatake ko before, mas nami ang ginger nga ginagamit ko subong nga nga salabat kung sa aton pa ni.
Sige sir, thank you so much sir.
Okay,
thank you sir. So sir, ano man sir ang nakabulig si mo sir Roberto sa isa imo nga pag-inom sa dugay na sa amo ning Yarden or healthy?
Ako na nambiyan mo lang mag-inom kaya ka ang ako nawas kuan mo daw
lapit.
daw ka namin ang blame nun daw ka dula lang kuan sa lawas mo daw sakit daw mula na daw na nambiyan ko daw ay acid.
So yeah, wala sa acid kag ano gahatag energy.
Energy sa adlaw lang kuan daw mayo blame nun.
So why kani ga-take amo na lang gini?
Oo, mula ni sa na ano ko. Nainom ko na aga hapon.
Oo namin no. So sir, ano pag hindi mo nakabulig si mo sir?
Basta daw ka namin lang sa inyo, daw ka mag-ano sa lawas.
Ay, gagabakot si mo, wala ka ginakapoy?
Daw ay nakapoy.
Order now.
Mga kasosyal, ari naman ng iyong biyan amigos Jesse. Diri sa public market sa Burgos Public Market. Diri makita ninyo ang mga manamis ng mga prutas ni Ma'am Neneng Inchik de la Paz. Nga ayari kita sa buong ipakita namon anong mga preska mga prutas at vegetables kag hindi lang na kag anong inyong nakuha nga benepisyo no are lantaw na ton ang prutas Ma'am Neneng Inchik de la Paz diri sa Burgos Public Market. Kasosyal, mga fresh vegetables, preska.
kung magbakar ka mo diri sa Nining Inchik Fruit Store diri sa Burgos Public Market, kag sa mga lemon, kag iban pa, maka-avail ka mo sa 15% discount sa inyong Prima Viaje Happy Card, mga kasosyal. Amoy na ka namin, no? Kung ikaw may ara sa Prima Viaje Happy Card. Nga man, kada mo sa imong benepisyo sa tanan sa prutas, kag sa mga vegetables sa Pescaderia kay Nining Inchik Fruit Store sa Burgos Public Market. Dala lang inyong cellphone nga may Happy e-card, Prima Viaje Happy Card, kag inyong physical card para kamo maka-avail sang 15% pay sa inyong total purchase. So, mga kasosyal, mga Happy Card holder, kadto na kamo diri sa kay Ma'am Nining Inchik Fruit Store diri sa Burgos Public Market. Bakal na kamo volume para pwede nyo manegosyo kay may 15% na discount na kamo. Kita na kita mga social sa sunod atong mga programa kada Monday to Friday. Mga kasosyal, ari interview nato niya ang tagila sa Nining Inchik Fruit Store dito sa Burgos Public Market, no? Para mabalaan niyo kung ano ang mga benepisyo ninyo kung kamuya magbakal diri sa iya sa mga preskay, mga prutas kag vegetables. Ari si Ma'am Nining. Ma'am Nining, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, ano ang ma-offer ng isang imong fruit store diri sa mga taga Negros ano ng pakulog nun?
Una sa mga ayong hapon sa inyo kanta so party sa prutas ang aton niya ang akon din prutas na kami manila friska sa Davao ang nakatun sa ating lakatan sa Davao Mandiatin ang Comedo basta tanan diri friska kung sa imported naman sa pagkain so ang aton 15% na Happy Card discount. Ara lang nagyapon.
Wow. So may discount ka mo 15% ha? 15% ma-avail nyo diskwento diri sa mga manamit ni Kwan. Mga prutas kag vegetables ni Ma'am.
Sa vegetables naman sir, ang kiritanan niya mga utang, kalingit sa Bagyo.
Uy, Bagyo gid, no? Mga piska gid.
Mga piska utang sa buong Bagyo na nagbutan. Bagyo na sa Tagasan, wholesale.
Pero nakita ko din may mga dragon fruit.
Yes, ang kanang dragon fruit naman, halong ka na ina sa Africa. Imported na siya, ang white dragon fruit. Binabakala na namin sa Pilipinas ang Inchik. Sino na stock sa ilan na dito kayo bakala.
Wow, kompleto mga kasosyal. May mga dragon fruit, may mga grapes. Kanan, kompleto ari na. Imported kag local, maaari din no, kag sa Bagyo mga.
Ang pinya na to, iya man nagyapon sa Dol Davao.
Dol Davao.
Matamis gini na kayo.
Wow.
Sa Davao.
So, hindi tayo sila ma'am.
Inaagdan akong kamo. Gusto ko magkatuliri o kung mag-try sa Inchik fruits and vegetables. Ari lang pa rin, nagkakalag sa 15% discount sa Hamka.
Wow. Ano ito mga may araw pagid ka nga do physical kung pagid. Imbita ha pagid sila.
Okay, may araw pagid gali. Ang gusto mag-physical fitness, ano tawag na, mag-zumba, ara lang kami 6:30 sa plaza up to 7:30. Willing gid open gid ina para sa inyo ang gusto mag-intra.
Wow, so kung gusto niya magpabalhas, no? Anong tayo kalagay, ma'am?
Pabalhas sa plaza version 2.
Pabalhas sa plaza version 2. Kaon ka mo di, kaon pabalhas ka mo to, pabalhas ka muna, kaon mo di, bakal ka mo, may 15%
May libre
discount.
pa na nga lakatan.
Ano ma'am?
May libre pa na nga lakatan tapos exercise.
My goodness, ma-exercise na kita mga kasosyal.
May lakatan pa ina nga saging nga tapos exercise na nila panghatag ko.
Oh, may libre nga lakatan. So kadto ka mo sa pabalhas, may plaza, kada alas 6:30 sang aga pa kadto 7:30 isa ka oras sa pabalhas, may libre nga lakatan, exercise means good health plus ang good fruits, vegetables
And mga fruits ni ma'am, no?
Ini broccoli came from broccoli came from Baguio.
Oh.
Cauliflower, Baguio din halin. Nata na naging gulay sa Baguio. Carrots.
Wow.
Carrots. Baguio na kami halin.
Wow, biggest carrots nakita ko sa nakitaan ko. So mga ka-social, hindi ka mo magalipat. Basta prutas, fresh ka nga prutas, fresh ka nga mga vegetables, dili lang na kay Nining Check Fruits and Vegetable. Diri sa Burgos Public Market. Kita na naman kita mga ka-social, kasunod nato nga pag-feature naman. Welcome mga ka-social. Ari ang inyo naman nga amigo, Jesse, no? Yari kita subong diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures. Yan diri sa may Plaza Mart sa Tubang Gid sang Bacolod Public Plaza, mga ka-social. So nga yari kita diri subong. Kay pakita namon no ang mga furnitures, no? Office and home furnitures diri nga mga matahom diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures, no? Kadamo ni sila branches pero libuto na ato karon. Pero diri anay sa may Plaza Mart ato ba sa public plaza diri sa Bacolod, makita niyo mga ka-social kung gaano kanami kag affordable ang ilang mga presyo, no? Mga ka-social, yari ipakita ko sa inyo ang mga produkto, ang mga office and home furnitures diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures diri sa atubang sa Bacolod Public Plaza. Ari, lantaw naton. Social, no? Ang mga matahom nga mga office and home furnitures diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures, no? Diri sa atubang sa public plaza diri sa Bacolod. So now, ari nga ayari di sa amigo ni Jesse, no? May good news. Kung kamo may ara sang Prima Biyahe Happy Card, pwede kang maka-avail sang 30% discount mga ka-social, no? Ipakita nyo lang ang inyong happy card, no? E-card siya or physical card, maka-avail ka sang 30% discount. Example, kung 10,000 ang imong ginbakal nga furnitures diri sa Amco, save mo ang 3,000 pesos dayon. Diin ka nakita mga ka-social. So amoy na katahom ang diri nga oportunidad ginahatag sa Amco Commercial Furnitures niyo sa inyo para sa inyo tanan. Kung hindi ka man sa sulok sa Negros o sa 30th dapat kahit ikaw. So again, avail Prima Biyahe Happy Card kag magkadto magbakal na diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures. Mga ka-social, hindi lang na, kadamo pa sa iban. So, kita na kita sa sunod sa atong i-feature naman nga negosyo, partner sang Prima Biyahe Happy Card. Ang inyong amigo, Jesse. God bless. Mga ka-social, yari man kita diri subong sa Amco Commercial Furnitures diri sa Centroplex Bacolod, no? Sa second floor sa Centroplex Mall. So yari no, ipakita nato naman ang isa naman katahom nga dining set sang Amco. Ari makita niyo mga ka-social, no? Kasi kanami pakita niyo no, makita niyo. May extension siya, kag pwede mo i-fold, no? Oops. Din ka kasi ni yeah, kung dutay ka mo, pwede mo sila paliputon. If damo ka mga member of family, pwede mo siya palaparon. So mga ka-social, drilla na sa may Amco Commercial Furnitures, no? Ma-avail mo na. Kag, again, less 30% ka mo kung may ara kaya sa Prima Biyahe Happy Card, digital or physical card.
Di ka nakakita, no? Kadamo sa makita niyo pagid from para sa inyong mga opisina, mga furnitures, kag sa inyong mga balay. Para sa inyong mga resort, kag sa inyong mga rest house. Yari diri tanan sa Amco Commercial, no? Again, ini inyong amigo Jesse sa Social Hour. Kita na naman kita kada Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Okay, goodbye and good night. Mga kasosyal, ari naman kita diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures diri sa 888 Premier Mall, no? Pataong, no? Sa nga, hindi nga kinapumpuan subong. 888 Premier Mall naman ang ilang branch. Para maka-avail ka mo sa mga matahom sini nga mga furnitures, kag 30% ng ila na ginahatag sa tanan nga member na may ara sa Prima Biyahe Happy Card. So, mga kasosyal, 30% is a really big discount para sa imo. Kung ini 10,000 ini, example, na supa, no? 10,000 less 30%, that is 3,000 ang imo nga ma-save kung ikaw yung may-ara sa Prima Biyahe Happy Card. So, dapat may-ara ka na sa Prima Biyahe Happy Card, mga kasosyal. So, hindi na, no? Kagdi, kadamo pa sang imo nga makian diri sa Amco Commercial Furnitures. Makita mo man dira sa mga lampshades, mga office and house furnitures. So katahog, no? Ara tanan ang lananang nimo para sa inyo balay kag opisina kag sa inyong mga house, no? Kag mga dekalidad. So mga kasosyal, for you to save 30% off, kag ikaw may Prima Biyahe Happy Card, digital o physical card, dapat today may ara ka na, bakal ka na kung may ka pa. So again, this is your amigo Jesse of Social Hour. Kita na kita. Bakal na ka mo sa Prima Biyahe Happy Card kag magkato na diri sa Commercial Furniture sa may 888 Premier Mall, sa Plaza Mart Mall, kag sa Centroplex Mall. Okay? Save now. Start saving today with your Prima Biyahe Happy Card. Thank you and God bless you all.
Okay, there you go mga kasosyal, no? Sa ating mga partners, no? Prima Biyahe Happy Card, di ka mo magalipat, no? Dapat may ara ka mo sa inyong e-card, no? Cellphone. Digital na, no? May QR code siya. Maka-avail ka mo up to 30% yan, mga kasosyal. From restaurants, hotels, GoTels Nationwide, Summit, GT Hotels, Seda, and many more mga kasosyal, no? Pumunto mga fruits, bongbong pasalubong, akadamo, no? Pati hospital, no? Sa may BAMC, Bacolod Adventist Medical Center Hospital. And soon may mga restaurant, pagkikadamo pa. And dugang hospital. So mga kasosyal, be practical, save every day, save in every transactions nga imo paghimuon together with your family and friends para makasave kaya everyday bisan 100 to 200 pesos a day dako na nga bagay in 1 month mga kasosyal because you have a Prima Biyahe Happy Card. Okay? So ara, no? Adto ka mo sa ilang Facebook page lang for you maka-avail ka kay online naman na tanan. Prima Biyahe Happy Card. para ikaw happy every day, kaya ikaw maka-discount na. And let's proceed sa ato na update, no, diri naman sa COMELEC, mga kasosyal. So COMELEC, no, to form task force versus vote buying, no, vote buying very important ni mga kasosyal, kaya hindi gini malikawan. So ini mga kasosyal, no, ang Commission on Election last week, no, mentioned, nag-mention sila to form a task force that will investigate, no, or allegation of vote buying. So the Commission on Election will be creating a task force that will handle reports, complaints, definitely COMELEC muning moto proprio, no, on its own investigation. So sila na. So COMELEC can always direct its field personnel to submit a report to us, hambal sabi ng COMELEC, no? So we will have a task force for us to immediately take action, no? Sabi ni Commissioner George Erwin Garcia, no, in a press conference, no, last Tuesday. Conclusion end-to-end demonstration on the election day automated election system, or AES. So during the conference sa Diamond Hotel in Manila. So Garcia, however, reminded the people to be very careful in making reports of vote buying, mga kasosyal, no? As you know, ang mga politicians can always invoke the Piñera Doctrine, no? Ano po pa yung Piñera Doctrine, no? Ang Piñera Doctrine, mga kasosyal, no, for your info lang, no? Ang Piñera Doctrine refers, no, excuse me, refers to a landmark, no, a landmark Supreme Court ruling in 2009, no, in 2009, where it voided the prohibition on premature campaigning, no. So this means that the expenses of the candidates before the start of campaigning period are not covered by the campaign guidelines, no. So that's why they can invoke, no, they can always invoke sa ganitong, if you don't have any concrete evidence na saying that this politician is conducting or doing vote buying. So yun ang tinatawag nila na they taking advantage of this Piñera Doctrine, mga kasosyal. So technically, no, it is not yet start campaigning, no, period for local candidates, no. Pero however, no, ang sabi nila, we will not hesitate to prosecute those who may involve in vote buying. We are so serious that for this coming election, it is necessary to equalize everything. We will punish those who will be violating the Omnibus Election Code. Oh, really? No? The question is, really? So the Piñera Doctrine refers to a landmark Supreme Court ruling in 2009 where it voided prohibition on premature campaigning, as I have mentioned. So this means the express of the candidate before the start of campaign period are not covered by the campaign guidelines. So they can really invoke, no. So Garcia meanwhile urged those who witness such activity to file a complaint, then definitely, regardless of the personalities involved, so long as there's a substantial evidence, substantial in character, we will push through the prosecution of offenders, of those who will be guilty of vote buying, mga kasosyal. So this is the a message from COMELEC, no, kay Garcia, no. So I hope so, no, they can control this vote buying, because vote buying parang na-inherit na for so many years eh. So I hope this time no they will really implement that kind of law and punish those who will violate the law. Kaso lang, no, how can you how can you violate a certain politician sometimes kung mayroon siyang white envelope or tinatawag nila na red envelope or magic envelope, no? So that's a sad part in our country. Kasi parang tinatawag na SOP na eh. So I hope it will not happen, and then this we're not saying ganun yung si Comelec, pero yung inano yung parang standard na kasi sa when you do transaction mag-transact ka sa government, parang may tinatawag ng SOP, no? But this time Comelec is really serious about it, that they really implement this thing. But let's pray and support the Comelec. But of course, in collaboration with the support from the community for every voters then, no? Let's have let's give value on our single vote lang yan. Kaya boto mo dapat bigyan mo ng dangal, no? Kasi money passing lang eh, no? Passing lang yan. So it's really sad, no? When you voted the wrong person that you think na para sa iyo okay because you get money or in kind or any favor, but remember we will suffer for national election, no? For the president it's 6 years, vice president 6 years, senatorial 6 years, congressman 3 years, and sa mga LGUs 3 years, councilors 3 years. We will suffer, including your grandchildren or your children. So kasi simple as that. Now ask yourself, no, is it worth it na ipagbili mo yung boto mo for that amount only? In short, ikaw, ganun yung value mo. Well, it depends. Depende sa'yo. So, dapat, no, kasi at early, sa ito pala, no, during mga campaign rally, may lumalabas na they're giving 1,000, 500, 200, 300. But ito, considered pa na Piñera doctrine pa because it's not pa siya. They can invoke always kasi hindi pa covered, no, sa national guidelines, no, election guidelines. So, mga ka-social, no, this time, we're not getting younger anymore, no? Especially sa mga yappies, young professional, give value to your vote, no? Kasi that vote will make a difference for your children or grandchildren someday, no? So they will follow you also. If you voted ganun ka klase magboto, they will follow you also. But let me tell you, yung key po for you to be able to choose the best or shall we say okay na politician or public servant, spend time researching, knowing the candidate well, spend time observing his platform, observing mga programs siya before if he is a incumbent public servant, no? Because again, if you keep studying or spending time researching, knowing ito pala siya, ito pala yung klaseng politiko, then in short, hindi ka talaga magkakamali voting the right person according to your own perception, di ba? And your own understanding. So, spend time. Na kilalanin mo ng maigi yung dapat mong iboto. Because sa panahon ngayon, pag nasulat mo na yung pangalan or you voted, hindi mo na pwedeng mabawi. So, from 3 years to 6 years po tayo magsasuffer. Imagine, one vote can make a difference for that particular politician o nanalo siya, di ba? So it's really imperative to understand how yung value ng boto mo, mga ka-social, no? Then you ask yourself in front of the mirror, am I doing the right thing? Am I voting the right person, the right public servant? And of course, before you make a decision, before you vote during May 9 election, this coming May 9, you pray first. You pray because it's really hard, no? If you just depend sa ability natin, and we really have to align all our plans, all our goals sa Panginoon, because He will give us the best result, no? Best achievement sa ating mga plano. So, mga ka-social, medyo kulang na tayo sa panahon. Please don't forget, no? Don't forget like and share and subscribe sa aming YouTube, no? And not only that, also like and share and subscribe sa PMPTI Report to the People na ako co-host din doon, na shown every Monday to Friday, no? 7 to 8 in the morning pag Monday to Thursday, and then Thursday that's gonna be 10 to 11 a.m. in the morning, no? Sa Radyo Bandera Sweet FM. So, and together with Police Chief Master Sergeant Gregas, no? Nida La Chica Gregas. So, mga ka-social, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And don't forget, no, before you go to bed, spend time praising God. Spend time talking to God. And, of course, not just you keep on asking, ganito, bless me, Lord. Of course, you have to listen to Him. No? Start listening to Him also and praising Him, because He is the beginning of it and the end of this universe. You have a purpose because we are still alive, 2022. And now know that purpose by listening and following our great God. So thank you so much, and God bless you, mga ka-social.